Are you interested in buying a taxi medallion or looking for TLC insurance? Reach out to West Way Taxi at 212-977-4590.
Black Car News editor and publisher Neil Weiss focuses his editorial on key issues facing the New York City TLC industry, based on recent conversations with several drivers during a Black Car Fund resource fair on May 12th in Long Island City. Neil writes, I got a chance to chat with a handful of drivers this month about some of the key issues currently facing the industry at the most recent Black Car Fund resource fair, held on May 12th at the organization's Long Island City facility. Their comments were, unsurprisingly, a mixed bag. We discussed whether congestion pricing has improved traffic, if insurance rates spike this year, and which fund benefits they considered the most useful. My biggest takeaway was regarding the congestion toll and whether it is working as planned. The verdict: it depends on the time of day, among other factors. Nearly all of the data I've read has shown decreased congestion and increased traffic speeds, but maybe the difference is not yet noticeable when you're out on the street, dealing with the many challenges drivers face on a daily basis as they take their passengers safely to their destinations, like an insufficient number of relief stand parking spaces, aggressive enforcement agents, speed and red light cameras, and less than friendly passengers. Neil also writes about discussions he had related to the TLC insurance market. I was surprised again when the topic of insurance came up. I braced myself for tales of punishing rate increases, considering everything I've been reporting on about the crisis created by the insolvency of the industry's biggest insurance provider, the American Transit Insurance Company. But only one of the drivers I spoke to was hit with a dramatic rate increase this year. The rest saw only modest increases. That said, I am interested to hear more on this topic and invite drivers to email me at neil@blackcarnews.com or call me directly at 856-751-0656. Whether the news is good or bad, and whether you would prefer to remain anonymous or not. Please leave a message if I am unable to pick up the phone when you call. Remember, if you're an NYC TLC licensed driver or driver in New York State, please make sure to sign up for your Black Car Fund driver benefits. In his monthly column, Ira Goldstein, executive director of the Black Car Fund, shares his industry insights and thoughts on several topics. Ira starts his column off with concerns about changes in JFK pickup rules for non-taxi for hire vehicles. As I've written before, beyond just the issue of government picking winners and losers by letting yellow cabs continue to pick up at the curb, the Port Authority and the NYC Taxi and Limousine Commission has a responsibility to combat illegal hustling. As far as I can tell, they are not meeting this responsibility, and illegal hustling is as bad as it's ever been. This really is a slap in the face to everyone else who plays by the rules, and of course, continues to put passengers in danger as well. After the Port Authority's public commitment to ramping up enforcement, I hope to see some progress made on this issue. As we move further into the summer, we will also be keeping a close watch for any announcements regarding when these curbside changes will end. The Port Authority has said they feel confident with Labor Day as their target, but that remains to be seen. Ira also speaks about congestion pricing. Last month, the New York Times published a detailed article with information gathered from dozens of sources, including the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, detailing many of the effects that congestion pricing has had since it began. I won't get too into the weeds on this, as I would strongly recommend everyone read the article, but let's summarize it. There are fewer cars on the street, so traffic speeds, peak commute times, and New Jersey commutes are all faster. Even local buses are faster and operating with fewer delays. Transit ridership is up massively, visitors to the congestion pricing zone are up, and city bike trips are up both in and out of the zone. Finally, Ira concludes with an interesting NYC legal fact. Before I wrap up, I want to tell you something that I bet you didn't know. Cyclists in New York City are actually legally allowed to proceed through intersections during a red light when the pedestrian walk signal is illuminated. Drivers are definitely not allowed to do this, so I think most people assume that cyclists wouldn't be either. However, it has been legal for cyclists since 2019, and the issue came up recently in a court case where a cyclist challenged a red light ticket she received in 2022. A Manhattan Supreme Court judge confirmed its legality, making it clear that communicating this type of information to New Yorkers needs to get better. In Commissioner's Corner, NYC Taxi and Limousine Commission Chair Daus shares valuable insights into the industry. The TLC is making history and improving lives with the most accessible taxi fleet in the nation, and that couldn't be possible without our dedicated drivers. That's why when we pass new rules and programs, we always have you in mind. At our commission meeting on April 30th, we announced a new pilot program designed to help drivers with the cost of converting to a wheelchair-accessible taxi. The program is called Accessible Taxi Loan Assistance Service, or ATLAS, and will help lower the cost of conversions for our small business medallion owners. ATLAS is on track to launch this summer, and its mission is clear: to help build a more affordable and accessible city for working-class New Yorkers and licensees. I know that the costs associated with a waive can often be difficult or prohibitive, which is why the program will be open to those who own just one medallion. Chair Daus also mentions a historic waive-related milestone. All of this is to say that we are moving ahead with the goal of our taxi fleet hitting the 50% accessibility mark, a milestone that TLC has pursued for over a decade. Despite being delayed by the medallion crisis and pandemic, we remain undeterred, and even now TLC is a national leader in accessibility standards with over 12,000 combined yellow taxi waves and for hire vehicles. A tremendous amount of effort and resources have gotten us to this point, and none of this would be possible without the TLC staff and licensees who have helped forge progress.